I never thought I would be a Las Vegas showgirl. Luckily, I booked an audition. I think it's probably around my 10th audition that I finally figured out the whole system. And
When it comes to selecting showgirls, how does that process kind of work? Like, what are producers like yourself, like, what are you looking for?
every show's a little bit different. Like the Rockettes are looking for something very specific. They want the exact height, everybody to be perfect. Fantasy, we are kind of the modern take on the Las Vegas showgirl. So we are, as the show is called Fantasy, looking for a little bit something different in each girl. So we kind of offer something for everybody. We've got, super tall girls, blondes, brunettes. But overall, it's the dancing's number one. Dancing, you have to be able to dance, know the steps, be able to be clean. The next element is the look. You have to be, for fantasy, very beautiful, in shape. And the third would be kind of your reputation in town or just how kind you are.
So, of like, okay, of 100 people who try out, like, how many would you say generally make it?
Two,
That competitive.
yeah, yeah. And usually there's always one girl that just kind of steals the show. It's like, hands down, all of us, we have a little panel of, three or four women that are, picking who's going to be in our cast. And historically, one girl has just stole the show. It's like everybody's on the same page. Like, nope, it's her. Yep, she's the one.
I remember growing up and the showgirl was kind of like the symbol of Las Vegas. Is that still the case? Has that kind of changed?
I think Las Vegas has changed its branding throughout the years. So I don't know like what like the younger generations would see, but I still see the, beautiful Las Vegas showgirls. And I think if I was marketing for Las Vegas, I would bring back that classy, beautiful element because it's so iconic. It's so beautiful. So I think Las Vegas should step up their showgirl game.
Were you conflicted about doing the topless part?
I don't think was personally conflicted because I was like, I want to do it, but I was like, what are people going to think? What is this going to be like if I, run for president? Are they going to dig this up and it's going to be a terrible, shameful thing? And I think as the world has changed in life in general, like everything's just more accepted. And as soon as I did my first show, I was like, I've never felt like I was home, like ever. Like it was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be. It was just, I was so comfortable. And literally there's so many quick changes in choreography. Like you forget that, you trained ballet, you're wearing little leotards anyways. It's not like, we're used to it. I literally, it didn't even acknowledge that I didn't have a top on.
When you start off, like, how much practice slash rehearsal goes into the show before you kind of like you got it nailed down?
Our show moves pretty quick. You are in a studio for about 4 or 5 days. You learn about 10 different numbers. Then you take a day on stage with the dance captain, kind of looking at the blocking and everything. Then we bring in the cast to do like a dress run, and then we put you in.
Oh, that's just like right to it then, huh?
And usually our producer, Anita, comes to watch the show pretty much on the girls' first or second day in the show, and she can tell right away if they're going to make it. If they have, obviously people make mistakes. This is, we're not looking for perfection on your first day, but the performance, and if you mesh with all the girls. I mean, we've had fabulous dancers that I was like, this is going to be the new star of fantasy. And when you put them in a line next to our girls performing full out, they don't work.
What do you think is kind of the misconception about it?
I think, well, like the movies like Casino and the old school movies, and it might have been different back in the day that we were, kind of a glorified prostitutes for the casino. I know, like back in the day, like a million years ago, Las Vegas Showgirls would do their show, and then they would have to go sit at the bar and be nice to the gentlemen that are there or whatever, high rollers. And um, thankfully, that element has changed. It's, we're literally professionals, not that kind of professional, professional dancers. We go and, do our job. We perform on stage and we do meet and greets, and then that's it. There's no, conceived notions of things that we're supposed to do or entertain. And then, like strippers too kind of stole the Las Vegas title and name. And so I think sometimes for the common public, it can get confusing. Even when I moved out to Vegas, I was like, I'm going to be a dancer. They're like, oh, can you do a dance for me right now? Like, I'll tip you. And I'm like, I'm not that kind of dancer.
Not that kind of dancer.
Nothing against them, but that's not what I do.
Will you get people though that from that type of dancing come into this type of dancing? Does it go back and forth, or like, no, these are totally different things?
Totally different. We've had some girls audition that I'm sure are very successful in the club scene, and it's completely different. The choreographed dance, and some of our numbers are 5-6 minutes long. Every single one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is choreographed, and if you're not trained like that, it's very, very hard to keep up.
Ooh, what is the best movie slash documentary slash media depiction of showgirls?
Oh, well, I have a love-hate relationship with the movie Showgirls.
I would imagine.
That's typical, and thank God it's not as catty and pushing girls down the stairs to take their spots and throwing rhinestones and things. That's kind of a cult classic. That's it. They tried, but then they went to a darker element from it. I'm really excited to see the new documentary, The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson. I think it comes out in a couple weeks. I know a lot of Vegas dancers that are in that movie as well. And from what I haven't seen it yet, but from what I've heard, it's fabulous. So I'm thinking that's going to be the best depiction of showgirls. Otherwise, there's lots of movies that are not so kind to us.
What do you think the future holds? What do you think happens?
I think the future of showgirls is bright. There's always, new young hungry choreographers coming up, new shows, new casinos opening. I think new documentaries, new series that highlight showgirls are just going to add more of that, allure back to our industry. And I think the Las Vegas Showgirl will never die.